The May 12th, 2015 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
President Adair.
Here.
Mr. Ansello.
Here.
Ms. Andrews. Mr. Baroth.
Here.
Ms. Boyce.
Here.
Dr. Carbone.
Here.
Mr. Colby.
Here.
Mr. Daniele.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mrs. Draw.
Here.
Mr. Flagler Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Gamble is excused. Mr. Gamina.
Here.
Mr. Haney. Mr. Howland.
Here.
Ms. Kaylee.
Here.
Mr. John Lightfoot.
Here.
Mr. Willie Lightfoot.
Here.
Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Michike.
Here.
Mr. Morelli.
Here.
Dr. Quattro.
Here.
Mr. Rocco.
Here.
Mrs. Stick.
Here.
Ms. Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Tucciarello.
Here.
Mrs. Valerio.
Here.
Mr. Wilcox.
Here.
Mr. Yolovich.
Here.
Please stay seated at this time, or if you haven't been seated, you can be seated now. It really doesn't matter, does it? It is a privilege of mine to introduce Pastor Mike Metzger of the First Bible Baptist Church, who has been invited here tonight by Legislator Fred Ansello.
Good evening. Let's go to the Lord in prayer, okay? Our gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the opportunity we have to be here tonight. Lord, I thank you for every one of these legislators and how they're so helpful to our community. I just pray that you'll give them wisdom and give them knowledge and understanding of the things that they're dealing with right now. Lord, we ask that you'd give them courage. And Lord, you also give them unity even in the midst of diversity. Father, that they would work together and be helpful in leading our county. And I'm thankful for the privilege of being here today. Lord, you said you're our ever-present help in time of need. And Lord, in our society, we really need you. And so I pray that as these are the servants of you, I just pray that you'll watch over them and bless them. Lord, I think tonight of Shana Valerio, who is in labor right now. I just pray you'll protect her and watch over her, Father. Lord, we also ask that you bless the Maloney family as Andrew Maloney went home to be with you. I just pray you'll give them wisdom and help at this time in their grief. And Lord, I ask for all the leaders that you'll bless them and use them mightily, we pray in Jesus' name. And everybody said? And thank you.
Legislator Delahanty will now lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Delahanty.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I ask that you remain standing. Without objection, we will take agenda item number 22 out of the irregular agenda order. Agenda item number 22 is moved by Mr. Tucciarello. It is seconded by Ms. Andrews. Will the clerk please read the resolution and memorial for Andrew Maloney, former Monroe County Sheriff?
Expressing regret of the Monroe County Legislature on the recent passing of Andrew Maloney, former Monroe County Sheriff. Be it resolved that the Monroe County Legislature hereby expresses its deep sympathy and sorrow at the recent passing of Andrew Maloney, former Monroe County Sheriff. Our entire community was blessed to know Andy and experience his passion for life. And whereas, for more than 2 decades, Sheriff Maloney was the most respected and successful public official in Monroe County. Throughout his tenure, the Sheriff's Office grew in both size and scope, taking on additional responsibilities and consistently adapting to new times and technology. Sheriff Maloney oversaw this transition with a steadfast commitment to public safety and an effective management style which built the office into what it is today. And whereas Sheriff Maloney will be remembered not just for his ability as an administrator and law enforcement officer, but also for his love for the community. He dedicated his personal life to many different causes, including Camp Good Days and Special Times, Compeer, the American Heart Association, the Italian Heritage Foundation, Cure Childhood Cancer, Sisters of St. Joseph, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and many more. He also helped establish the Monroe County Sheriff's Foundation, and for all of his charitable efforts, he was awarded the Daily Points of Light Award from Compeer in 1998 and the W. Burton Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010. And whereas Andy Maloney is survived by his wife of 62 years, Laura, their 5 children, Andrew, Michael, Feline, Mary, and Stephen, 12 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. And whereas Monroe County is a better place because of Sheriff Maloney's efforts both within the halls of government and without. We are truly fortunate to have a legacy of outstanding leadership in our community. Andy was the standard bearer for what a public servant should be. Everyone who knew him recognized his love for this community and his passion for helping others, and he leaves behind a legacy without equal. He will be sorely missed. Be it further resolved that the Clerk of the Legislature is hereby requested to forward a copy of this resolution to the bereaved family. This resolution was adopted unanimously, with each legislator rising in his or her place for a moment of silence.
Please be seated. You've received a copy of the Journal of Day 4. That's April 14, 2015. Without exception, that journal is going to stand as submitted. There's a hearing loop in place tonight to assist those who are hearing impaired. Anyone requiring the assistance should inquire at the clerk's office.
If you have a cellular phone, pager, or other electronic devices in your possession, I would request that you make it inaudible for the duration of the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation.
Legislators, the referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are now in your folders. At this time, it is a great honor of mine to introduce from the Monroe County Parks Department, Mr. Mark Quinn, who's going to introduce to us tonight the plant of the month.
Good evening. Thank you. Our plant of the month this month is dahlias. It's a beautiful summer flower, very versatile flower. They can be as small as 2 inches in bloom up to the size of a dinner plate, almost 12 inch blooms. Height-wise, so we've got some of the shorter ones up here, about 6 inches. A lot of the medium-sized ones we've got here, a couple feet, they can be up to 8 feet tall. They're a native of Mexico. There's 40 species, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of varieties. They're generally reds, yellows, whites, very, very pretty. Really, really nice summer garden plant. It's a little early for these. These are actually pushed along a little bit, but right about now, maybe within the next couple of weeks, is time to start putting them in your garden. If you want to plant them, you can buy them as tubers, or you can buy them as pre-grown plants, and that's probably the easiest way to do it. They like a sunny spot, and they'll like a really well drained soil that's worked in pretty well with some organic matter. They're actually a perennial, although they don't survive here in the winter. You have to pull them up. If you want to save them from this year to next year, they're actually tubers. They're kind of like a potato. So you wait till the first frost, and you let them die back. You let them go for about a week, and then you cut them off and dig them up and dry them off, and you got to store them all winter. They like about 45 degrees. You got to kind of keep after them. It's a little bit tough. You want to make sure they don't dry out, or if you leave them wet, they'll rot. So you got to have that balance. So you kind of got to watch them. But that's how it's done. They can also be grown from seed. They're really, really pretty flowers. One of my favorites in the garden. Don't use them if you've got a lot of deer. The deer like to eat them. Other than that, like I say, just a great flower. When you first plant them, if you plant them from tubers, don't water them a lot until the plant actually comes up, because the tubers tend to rot. But once the plant's up, they take quite a bit of water. Anyway, beautiful summer flower. If you've got a nice sunny spot and the deer aren't in your yard, this is a great one for you. Oh, and last and least, if you want to have the really big ones, you've got to pinch off all the buds. So if you're trying to get a 12-inch flower out of these things, first you get one that's designed to be a 12-inch flower, but then you pinch all but the main center bud, and it'll put all its energy towards that main flower if you're trying to produce one for show. They also make very nice cut flowers. Anyway, enjoy if you have dahlias. They're really beautiful.
Thank you, Mark. This evening we have several proclamations scheduled. Madam Clerk.
Would Virginia Smith, Branch Manager for the Rochester Small Business Administration, please come forward? Also, County Executive Maggie Brooks and President Jeffrey R. Adair. America's small businesses employ half of our country's private sector workforce and are responsible for creating nearly 2 out of every 3 new jobs. Monroe County is home to approximately 5,000 small businesses in growing fields such as precision manufacturing, optics, and food and beverage. In 1980, Eastman Kodak, Xerox Corporation, and Bausch & Lomb employed approximately 55,000 local workers. Today, total local employment at those 3 companies is under 11,000. As the local economic landscape continues to diversify, the county recognizes that small businesses are fueling our local workforce. Many of our small local businesses are led by entrepreneurs who took the knowledge and expertise they gained at larger firms and launched their own successful businesses. Since its founding on July 30th, 1953, the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, has delivered millions of loans, loan guarantees, contracts, counseling sessions, and other forms of assistance to small businesses. Monroe County and the SBA continue to work together to connect local small businesses to funding that can help facilitate growth and innovation. The county, through its Industrial Development Corporation, continues to partner with the SBA to administer SBA 504 loans, which help local small businesses with long-term financing for the purchase of land, building, and equipment. Small Business Week reminds us of the role small businesses play in growing our local economy. This year's theme, Dream Big, Start Small, invokes the rich entrepreneurial spirit that has long existed in Monroe County. Visionaries like George Eastman, John Jacob Bausch, Chester Carlson, and Bob Wegman took their ideas and were able to shape them into multi-billion-dollar businesses. Monroe County is proud to support the next generation of innovators through the Entrepreneurs Network, which promotes and enhances job growth and business creation by providing practical, hands-on education and training programs, as well as access to critical resources needed to succeed in today's global economy. Now, therefore, we, Maggie Brooks, Monroe County Executive, and Jeffrey R. Adair, President of the Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and honor the United States Small Business Administration and all local businesses who participated in Small Business Week in Monroe County, and thank all residents for their support of local small businesses throughout the community. We have hereunto set our hands this 12th day in May in the year 2015. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for this proclamation. We are very excited. As mentioned, small businesses really are the backbone of the nation's economy, and no more so than in Monroe County. We have a tremendous small business community here, and we will only continue to grow with everyone's support. We work very well with the Planning and Development Department in Monroe County, as well as the 10 Network and the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. They're great resources for all the small businesses in our area, and we look forward to this week of celebration as well as the many years to come of growth and prosperity that we can bring. Thank you.
Would Marissa Zapiri-Caruano please come forward? Also, County Executive Maggie Brooks, President Jeffrey R. Adair, and legislators Richard Yolovich and Brian Marinetti. Whereas every year, May is designated as National Lupus Awareness Month. This recognition shows support for the estimated 1.5 million Americans who have lupus, including an estimated 100,000 New Yorkers. And whereas lupus is a chronic inflammatory autoimmune disease in which the immune system is unbalanced and overactive, causing inflammation and tissue damage to virtually every organ in the body. No organ is spared, and no 2 cases are exactly alike. The disease can cause seizures, strokes, blood clots, heart attacks, miscarriages, and organ failure, and can range from mild to fatal. While it mostly strikes women of childbearing age, any person can be affected. And whereas lupus can be particularly difficult to diagnose and later treat because its symptoms are similar to those of many other illnesses, more than half of people with lupus take 4 or more years and visit 3 or more doctors before obtaining a correct diagnosis. There has only been one new drug approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration specifically for lupus in the last 52 years. And whereas Lupus Chick, Inc., a nonprofit based in Greece and founded by Marissa Zapiri-Caruano, supports lupus patients and their families. Thanks to their dedicated work, they are able to offer education, awareness, scholarships, and resources to the community of those affected in Monroe County. Now, therefore, we, Maggie Brooks, County Executive, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, Richard Yolovich, Legislator District 1, and Brian Marionetti, Legislator District 7, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize the month of May 2015 as National Lupus Awareness Month in Monroe County. Congratulations.
Good evening. I just wanted to thank you. I was diagnosed with lupus 14 years ago, and I just want to thank you on behalf of all of the lupus patients in Monroe County. There are 100,000 lupus patients in the state of New York and 1.5 million in the United States, so I really appreciate this. And you can learn more at lupuschick.com.
Would Coach Daniel Dubois and representatives from the MCC men's and women's swimming and diving team please come forward? Also, County Executive Maggie Brooks and President Jeffrey R. Adair. Whereas on March 7, 2015, at the NJCAA Championship in Buffalo, New York, the Monroe Community College swimming and diving team solidified their position as one of the top swimming and diving teams. The MCC swimming and diving team, led by their head coach Daniel Dubois and assistant coaches Dale Pierce and Scott Josephson, finished the season breaking school records. And whereas leading the way was freshman Tamara Myler, who set 4 individual records. Each record set by Myler was a new school, Regional 3, and Northeast District record. In the men's division, sophomore Michael Klugo won 3 new school, Regional 3, and Northeast District records. In addition to individuals, the women's team set a new mark point score and finished national runner-up to Indian River State College, while the men's team placed 3rd among all community colleges in the country. And whereas every member of the team was there to represent their school and their community, after hours of competition, they ended the season with record-breaking results on that historic day. And whereas the dedication and talent this team has shown throughout its season is admirable, each team member put forth a tremendous effort which led to their great achievement. These athletes have a bright future ahead. Monroe Community College and Monroe County are proud to have such a successful team representing our community. Now, therefore, we, Maggie Brooks, County Executive, and Jeffrey R. Adair, President, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and congratulate Monroe Community College swimming and diving team on their historic finish at the NJCAA Swimming and Diving Meet in Buffalo, New York. Congratulations.
Well, I'd like to say thank you very much. I'm very proud of these young men and women. This is just a small representation. Much of what you do here trickles down to our student athletes at Monroe Community College, and we appreciate all that you do, that our college does, and all that our swimming and diving members and assistant coaches. So thank you very much for the proclamation.
Would Dr. Joseph Winnick please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair and legislators Mike Rocco, Richard Yolovich, and Robert J. Colby. Whereas there is no higher calling than to educate our future leaders. The value teachers have in society cannot be overstated, especially educators who are also pioneers in their respective fields. When the individual who wrote the textbook is also a dedicated teacher, the institution, the students, and the community are all extremely fortunate. And whereas this description fits Dr. Joseph Winnick, who recently completed his 50th year of teaching at the college at Brockport. Now an emeritus distinguished service professor at the college, Dr. Winnick has devoted his entire life to the field of physical education, with 70 published works and a remarkable amount of honors and awards. Dr. Winnick is a 4-time winner of the Amazing Person Award from the New York State Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, as well as an inductee of the Human Kinetics Authors Hall of Fame. And whereas Dr. Winnick has chosen to share his incredible insight with the world, being published in numerous languages and giving nearly 140 local, state, national, and even international presentations on physical education. He is truly an incredible asset for the Brockport family, and we are fortunate to have such an outstanding individual contributing to our community. Now, therefore, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, Richard Yolovich, Legislator District 1, Mike Rocco, Legislator District 2, and Robert J. Colby, Legislator District 20, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and congratulate Dr. Joseph Winnick for completing 50 years of teaching at the college at Brockport. Congratulations.
I want to thank you very much. I certainly will cherish this for the rest of my life. It's a big deal. And I wanted to compliment you on your timing also, because this is my 100th semester. This week is the last week of my 100th semester. My last class is tomorrow. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I work a lot with schools and agencies in Monroe County. I'm in adapted physical education and sport, which means that I deal with schools like School for the Deaf in Rochester, Holy Childhood, BOCES 1, BOCES 2, Al Siegel Center, Mary Carriola. These are all places that I've interacted with. They're Monroe County oriented, and I'm sure you guys have made some good contributions to these places over the years, so I thank you for that also. Thank you.
Would Lindsay Agnes please come forward, also President Jeffrey R. Adair and Legislator Carla Boyce. Whereas in December 2014, Lindsay Agnes was recognized in the first annual Kodak Leaders in the Community Program. Each employee was nominated by their colleagues on the basis of leadership at work and service in their communities. One nominee was chosen from each region of the world. Lindsay was chosen to represent the United States. And whereas Lindsay, a manager on the Kodak Worldwide International System team in Rochester, received this honor based on her work with Oasis Adaptive Sports Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on teaching veterans with disabilities. The mission Oasis is to provide disabled military veterans with the instructions, equipment, and support to participate in outdoor recreational activities. This does not only help them to regain their physical and mental health, but also assist them with their transition back into the mainstream of life. And whereas Lindsay serves as a fly fishing program coordinator for the Fly Rod Warriors program based in Honeywell, New York. She and her husband Dave together run a 6-month fly fishing program each year. Oasis's key differentiator in comparison to other similar organizations is an evaluation and advocacy phase that helps establish the support our veterans need in order to maintain their independence and to continue on to stay engaged in their communities. And whereas, in addition to her service to Oasis, Lindsay volunteers her time and talents for national veterans programs, such as Project Healing Waters, and she is affiliated with and guides the Women's Breast Cancer Recovery Program called Casting for Recovery. The work done by Lindsay is deserving of great respect. Monroe County is grateful to have such an upstanding citizen who helps to make the community a better place. Now, therefore, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, and Carla Boyce, Legislator District 5, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and congratulate Lindsay Agnes for receiving the 2014 Kodak Leaders in the Community Program grant in her service to our nation's veterans. Congratulations.
Good evening. On behalf of the veterans who have served this country, I'm honored to stand here today to receive this proclamation from the Monroe County Legislature. I'm here as a volunteer and honoree as Kodak's Leader in the Community Award for my work with the Oasis Adaptive Sports Program. Oasis stands for Outdoor Adventures for Sacrifice and Service. Its mission is to provide disabled veterans an ability to engage them in outdoor activities and sports, including the sport of fly fishing. Through instruction in fly fishing, these vets regain their physical and mental transition back into the mainstream of life. Teaching disabled veterans is a true passion of mine and my husband, Dave. This program offers vets a chance to trust and bond with civilians. It gives them a sense of team as they had in the military, and it gives them hope and support extending beyond fly fishing and catching fish. It's a lifetime experience, and it touches people's lives and changes them forever. I recently had an opportunity to spend an evening listening to and talking to Mark Owen, a former U.S. Navy SEAL who served our country on many missions around the world. He participated in the rescue of Captain Phillips on the Indian Ocean in 2009 and was a team leader in the operation in Pakistan on May 1st, 2011, which resulted in the death of Osama bin Laden. Mark Owen recently published a book called No Easy Day, an autobiography of a Navy SEAL. In this book, Mark provides my favorite quote of all, and I quote, "Don't just live, but live for a purpose bigger than yourself. Be an asset to your family, community, and country," end quote. In his book, he challenges each one of us to donate our time to veterans groups supporting wounded soldiers. And so I ask all of you today to also consider being involved on this journey. I'm grateful for these words and the proclamation acknowledging this prestigious recognition. This event will stand out as a reminder that many of our veterans are still suffering from their service and have anxiety and post-traumatic stress and physical injuries, and they need our support. Thank you, Monroe County Legislature, for this proclamation, and I'm personally honored to be part of this ceremony today. Thanks.
Would Deborah Zarpa of Meals for Mutts please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair and Legislator Carrie Andrews. Also, please, Carmen Gamina. Whereas Meals for Mutts recognizes the importance of animals in our families and in our hearts by striving to reduce the number of animals surrendered to shelters and rescues by providing quality food when their owners have fallen on hard times and are unable to provide food for them. And whereas since January 2014, they have helped owners keep their beloved pets at home where they belong. Meals for Mutts currently works with local rescues, animal welfare organizations, and private citizens in Rochester and the surrounding area to address this growing need. And whereas Meals for Mutts relies on donations from local businesses and individuals to survive. In the past year, Meals for Mutts has delivered over 17,000 pounds of dog food. Not only that, they have even delivered approximately 650 pounds of cat food. Now, therefore, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, Carrie Andrews, Democratic Minority Leader, and Carmen Gamina, Legislator District 8, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize Meals for Mutts for their continued service and dedication to the pets of our community. Congratulations.
When Meals for Mutts was first founded, it was thought to be that there could be an issue, there could be something to change. And in the year and a half, just over, almost 2 years since its inception, the need is growing. It's not just something that you find within the city limits. It's Brockport, it's Webster, it's Hamlin, and the need is out there, and we appreciate so much the support that we get from Monroe County and the rescues and a lot of the medical staff in Monroe County. You make it easy for us to do what we do, and thank you very, very much. So appreciated.
Would representatives from Monroe Milers please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair and Legislator Joshua Baroth. Whereas the Monroe Milers began at New Life Presbyterian Church on Monroe Avenue as a walk-to-run group for 7 children hoping to run a 5K race in 2011. In subsequent years, the church partnered with the Upper Monroe Neighborhood Association, Fleet Feet Sports Rochester, and other organizations to expand the program with a grant from the Greater Rochester Health Foundation and more recently MVP Healthcare. And whereas throughout each 8-week program held during two running seasons a year, kids learn how to make a commitment, set goals, and be team members. They learn the value of fun, of regular exercise, while harnessing their natural enthusiasm and energy in a productive way. They connect with their volunteer coaches, and they experience success and belonging. Many of the young runners have gone on to participate on school or YMCA teams and now regularly run in local road and trail races. And whereas through the tremendous base of support of parents, coaches, sponsors, Dave Boots Boutillier and Ellen Brenner from Fleet Feet, and all of the volunteers, the program has grown to serve over 250 participants, many who return each season, and has integrated kids of all abilities and from all walks of life. Now, therefore, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, and Joshua Baroth, Legislator District 24, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize Monroe Milers for their continued service and dedication to the youth of our community. Congratulations.
Thank you for this recognition, and I accept it on behalf of our young runners and our coaches. But I'd like to introduce you to one of our stars. Yeah, he's not shy. This is Dante Harris. This April, he ran his first half marathon in 1 hour 50. He was one of our founding members. When he started, he couldn't run at all. Subsequently, he's run a number of 5K races, his best time being about 20 minutes, and he's run trail races in the winter heat, or the winter cold and the summer heat. But Dante's success is not only due to his hard work and his natural talent, but due to a community that has come together to support him and our other young runners as they work hard to achieve personal goals and to be part of a team. We have a dedicated core of volunteer coaches. We have families that provide organizational support. We have a store that provides us running apparel. We have a church that gives us a place to meet. We are a diverse community of runners, but we all are alike in our desire to achieve a common goal. So I invite all of you, your children, your grandchildren, to join us. We have beginner, intermediate, and experienced groups. There's a place for everyone. And also, you can donate to our online fundraiser. Thank you.
Sorry. As she said, I'm Dante Harris. I would personally like to thank both Miss Nancy Dwayne and also Mr. Josh for actually playing important roles in my life and being able to engage me in activities that will keep me and other teens off the streets and have helped me to become a teen leader for kids younger than myself, my age, and maybe even a lot older, and have gotten me to the place to where I can actually feel successful and confident about myself. So thank you.
Wait 1 second. I actually asked permission to do this, and just so you all know, I just want to make sure we recognize by name, because they never say their names, is Coach Dwayne Bosch and Coach Nancy Allinger, who are the leaders of this organization, who started from scratch. Their name's not even on the proclamation because they didn't want it on the proclamation. They're very modest, but without them, none of this would have happened, and they are incredible leaders for the neighborhood and, frankly, for the county as well. So please give them one last round of applause.
I was just thinking 3.2 miles in 20 minutes. Yeah. No, come on, John. Wait a minute. Okay. By car. All righty. Legislators, you have in your folders the approved minutes of the last cycle. There are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. We will now hold the public forum. We have several people registered to address the legislature. Madam Clerk.
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern. I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature, and kindly conclude your remarks when the timer sounds and exit through the back of the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. Our first 3 speakers tonight are Paul Fursella, Sister Grace Miller, and Mrs. Morales.
I'm Paul Fursella. The cold indifference from Monroe County continues. I wrote 2 letters to the Monroe County Executive's Office. One I sent about 3 years and 9 months ago. The other I sent about 2 years and 6 months ago. All letters were totally ignored, despite my periodic follow-up calls to the County Executive's Office. Over the past month, I left messages for a legislator, and my messages have never been returned. About 3 weeks ago, I observed attempted poor and unhelpful behavior from a man at the office where this legislator works when I was trying to leave this legislator a message. I therefore strongly encourage all voters present to note my concerns and vote appropriately at the next election.
Sanctuary Village, located at Canal Street, was forced closed on April 15th. Sanctuary Village never should have closed. Sanctuary Village did not have to close. It all happened due to unwarranted criticisms, some by your county workers, namely the Continuum of Care and the homeless service providers, who should have helped keep it open, but rather chose and moved to have it closed. Yes, they placed many of the homeless, But as we have been warning over and over again, words that always fall on deaf ears, many of the homeless they have placed are back out on the streets, scattered all over the county. Only now many of them are hidden. They are afraid of being seen, afraid of being arrested by the police. It is so sad that in this wealthy county, the homeless are put out of every place they go. This is a tragedy that you have allowed to happen. Your silence and your unwillingness to face the truth of the plight of the homeless has allowed this terrible injustice to occur. I'm reading a part of a letter that we received from a volunteer at Sanctuary Village, and he called it the miracle on Canal Street. It is sad that something so important to so many lives had ended unnecessarily when it was doing so much good. In 3 months volunteering at Canal Street, I came to know and love the residents. Despite personal difficulties, and we all have them, they are really very good people who care about and help each other, and they loved that simple home. Wednesday was a tearful day, as the family they became broke up and scattered. I was with the staff cleaning up on Friday. All they wanted was for me to drive them around to the various shelters to see how their friends were getting on. I have since observed that some of them are back out on the streets. I never felt God's love and presence so strongly as when I was in Sanctuary Village. This was one of the more enlightening and meaningful experiences in my life. And I ask you, how many of you came and visited the homeless at Sanctuary Village?
The house of God is something that's number one. It shouldn't be without. It is the only thing we can ever receive that has no strings attached. It is given to us to give our lives more meaning and brighten all our days. There should be nothing in our relationship that can possibly cause regret or remorse. To be a part-time doer to cover but not correct results in a house of division against itself. The spiritual house is the mind, and it requires constant care. Spiritual conviction is the manner in which the house is run. When you have a spiritual conviction, it will serve you all in all situations, all day, every day, and every way. The same spirit that guides your family life must also run your social life. If you turn to spirit for financial guidance, you must also ask for professional guidance. And spirituality creates inner turmoil, indecision, confusion, and stagnation. Once we let spirit take over full time, we will find life is more enjoyable and peaceful than we ever thought possible. Let's not be part-time on a full-time job. The same funds you take to put fences up and no trespassing signs, blocks and bricks, you could use to better Rochester. After all, this is our city. We would like to know, what have you really done? What are you doing? Just as you can help other people become the best that they can be, you have your laws. What about our laws? What about our rights? We're tired of disguises, and we would like you to pull the covers off and show what you have really done right. Raise the curtain. We want to take our ideas and shape them. You can help us by being for real, the county. It's the highest calling.
This concludes the public forum.
We will now proceed with the considerations for motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk please read the next item on the agenda? Legislator Tucciarello.
I would like to make a motion to move items 1 through 21 with the exception of item 9.
Items 1 through 21 with the exception of 9. Do I have a second? Seconded by Legislator Andrews. Got it all? Jamie, all set? Okay. All righty. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. The next item on our agenda will be item number 9.
Item number 9, referral 15-0134.
Item number 9 is moved by Legislators Tucciarello, Dr. Quattro, and it is seconded by Legislator John Lightfoot. That's what I heard. Is there any discussion at this time?
Through you, Mr. President, I wanted to bring to the attention of the legislature that in this referral, Mr. William Baumann, who is the Secretary and CFO of Ironwood Heavy Highway LLC, was appointed by this body to serve on the Internal Audit Committee. Mr. Baumann has been advised that if any business comes before the Internal Audit Committee with regards to this contract, he would have to recuse himself.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. The next item on our agenda is item number 23.
Item number 23, referral 15-0149.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, it is seconded by Legislator Rocco. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Andrews.
President, through you, I'd just like to ask if the union's already ratified this agreement.
Through you, Mr. President, they have.
Great. Thank you. Then I'd just like to voice my support for the contract as well as, oops, a little water spill here. Express my optimism that this perhaps is the first of several collective bargaining agreements that could be put before us for authorization, as I know there are several others that are still outstanding with the county and have been for quite a number of years. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Lightfoot, I'd like to compliment you on your emergency services there. That was very good. All righty, is there any other discussion on this item? Item number 23. If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The item carries. There being no more unfinished business before this body tonight, Legislator Tucciarello.
Mr. President, I call this meeting adjourned. The next meeting of the legislature is scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th, 2015 at 6 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.